Thank you for staying for our little pitch. So I'm going to sit down. I'll be working a lot today. So yeah, we are here to present DevHub. This is our team, most of our team. Our leader and founder, unfortunately, got sick, so not to spread the conference bug, he's staying home today. And we have Joe to replace him. So I think we have all the names here, so it's kind of self-explanatory. My name is Maria Yarotska. I'm leading hackathons at NEAR. I've been working at NEAR for almost 2 years now. And the point that I like to brag about is that 8,000 people hacked on NEAR with me last year. So I think it's pretty impressive in terms of where the hackathon goes. So we opened this little startup almost a year ago. I think the first time we presented it was at the previous NEARCON. So let me just open it up with some slides. I didn't realize they're there. So this is me. Yeah, I like salted licorice. They told me I need to talk about, some fun facts about me. And let me just present what DevHub is about. So yeah, I kind of see it here. That's awesome. So about last year, with those 8,000 people I like to brag about, they hacked and built and shipped 3,000 projects. And we are incredibly proud of those who stick around in the ecosystem, come back to the hackathons, and actually keep building with us. So thank you very much. Most of those people are currently in the other venue, Hacker HQ. If you didn't check it out, most of you have checked it out. So if you didn't, come visit us there. We have a lot of tables to work, and we have some snacks. So just drop by. So yeah, let me just pass on to what DevHub does. Why did we found it? We found it because we realized that our ecosystem of developers is overly incentivized. So it's pretty obvious that people don't want to code for free, they don't want to build for free. Can we just give them money? Can we just distribute tons of grants? Apparently, we cannot. So this is not the way to go forward. Unfortunately, we failed a couple of times. And then we realized that we actually can diversify the approach and create a couple of pathways where people can apply for support through DevHub and find their way through NEAR ecosystem. So DevHub is actually focused on developers, which is obvious from the name. But it's not just that. We do events, we do meetups, we do educational initiatives. So my colleagues here, my beautiful team is going to talk about that in a moment. So I should go back. Can I go back? Yeah. So when we are thinking about building out the NEAR ecosystem of developers, we are keeping this one just one person, the abstract developer, in mind, which is probably not the right way to move forward. We have several types of developers, and Vlad here actually worked on the personas. Nneoma here is an expert in developer marketing. So we realized that all of the builder personas, we have three main ones, which is app developers, platform enablers, and platform developers. So, but this is not where it ends. This is just the three main ones. And we have more. We have hackathon hosts. We have validators. We have auditors. And we have deep tech enthusiasts who ship ZK stuff. We have a working group for that. So DevHub decided to be a place where all of this talented, amazing, and smart people land. So let's see what we can offer them. We support them through having a board where people can publish a proposal and get support. And this is not centralized through me, so there is not one Maria who approves the proposals. This is a board of moderators who write attestations, who approve or disapprove sometimes the initiatives that emerge in our community. So what we do through the board, we support meetups and hackathons, and we onboarded a couple local hubs. Specifically, NEAR China is working through DevHub now, where they have a really cool new logo with us. So we are sponsoring meetups throughout the globe. We support local contributors. We provide mentorship guidelines to make sure that everything is streamlined, standardized, and throughout the globe, NEAR standards are held on the same level. So we share the knowledge, and we make sure that it's easy for people to onboard and become a NEARian in the sense that we all would understand and support. We also support NEAR integrations, development of docs and libraries. We'll talk about that later. We do office hours in different languages and different time zones, so to support this idea of a truly global community. And generally, I would say DevHub is connecting people because all of them can meet each other through the board. So let me just walk you through the year at a glance, what we have done so far. So first, hackathons and meetups. We supported 12 events throughout the globe, including East Global events, East hackathons, student hackathons, all kinds of hackathons. And we productized our knowledge about hackathons and released a product called Hackbox, a plug-and-play solution where people can host a hackathon pretty much anywhere on a very low budget. So we already have 4 events in the pipeline, 15 more coming in Q1 and next year. Another program worth mentioning is NEAR Campus. We have 15 plus university clubs, and we're onboarding even more, including some big names that you can see on the screen. I'm not going to name drop. So Boris, who is not on this panel, is managing NEAR Campus, onboarding students and clubs throughout the globe. So if you want to talk about NEAR Campus, come to us to Hacker HQ, invite Boris. He would be happy to tell you more. We have decentralized developer relations team. So instead of just one team on a payroll, we have contributors throughout the globe. We onboard them. They have mentorship guidelines. They have all of the standards to become NEAR mentors. So if they are a developer and if they are likable, they can talk to people. It's a very small intersection on that Venn diagram, but it exists actually. So we find these people, we scout them, we teach them, and we include them in our decentralized DevRel community. So here's our link tree by our booth. So visit us at Hacker HQ, and I'm going to introduce my team now. So starting with Vlad. Vlad is one of the first contributors in NEAR ecosystem. So Vlad, how do we build the communities without incentives?
Yeah, sure. Well, you ran through the whole history of DevHub, but I want to start with the history of NEAR ecosystem since I joined NEAR 4 years ago and been seeing and building this ecosystem together with all of us here. And I've talked to many folks during the conference. I've been to all 3 NEARCons, and I'm excited to see it growing. NEAR ecosystem started as a open community from day one, and it's great. But we had the initial focus and the approach to deliver NEAR was that, okay, let's build cool stuff, and people will come and see and use the tech. But it's not always the case that you need this secret sauce to be there, and that is a bit more purposeful, directed approach of telling people how to use it, where to find the relevant resources, and all that stuff. So this idea of DevHub was baking in my head and in head of this whole awesome team for quite a while, and we definitely had some insights collected over the years. And one of the insights is that open source, that's where we drew our a lot of inspiration from, operates with no funding incentives. And the main incentive for people to contribute to open source is they want to be part of something bigger. They want to be delivering the tools that are useful for somebody else. So it is a kind of it's an interesting need some of the humans have in just day-to-day life, and that is what we employ here and what we want to focus in DevHub, and that's what we build through the tooling that we provide. So we have, as Maria mentioned, many frameworks that we replicate across the globe that would help others to just run the same approach no matter where in the world they are. Hackbox is a great example of that template that you can just get up and running. Fellowship program is the way how we bring people up to speed and make sure that we find the right talent and right motivation and empower them and on board. So currently the fellowship program that I will be talking more in detail later today at layer 2 stage is more about like those incentives that yeah, we just help people to find their way. So this is important. I feel like a role for DevHub is to bring this community on the same page. And we are not trying to be the NEAR. We want to be the hub of NEAR for developers. And we want to actually bring our like users who will arrive to DevHub to explore the whole ecosystem from the lens of DevHub. So with all those like small details, that's how we build the ecosystem. That's what we focus on. And those are like very tiny details that we pay attention a lot. And I hope Joe will also share with like how exactly we see it in the future. But overall, the whole ecosystem is growing, and it's awesome to see.
Thank you, Vlad. So when it comes to being on the same page, we kind of need the page, and we kind of need the people to be able to use it as opposed to be designed just for the developers and being all tacky and inconsistent. So Ori is actually the person behind our beautiful platform, which was updated last Friday, as usual. So Ori, would you like to talk about our processes and about our platform in general?
Sure, absolutely. So yeah, the DevHub portal is the main place for developers to find everything that they need to be able to contribute to the NEAR ecosystem. You can submit ideas there and proposals, find resources and get sponsorship, and also discover communities working on a variety of areas from protocol development to zero knowledge. And it is an open source project, so anyone is welcome to contribute. And I guess I can also share a little bit of the journey that we've had in building it over the last year. Initially, our focus was around technical governance and bootstrapping working groups and processes to enable decentralized decision making, like on contract standards and protocol improvement. And to help create visibility, we launched the first V0 of DevHub in Q4 of last year. And it was a landing page that introduced the project and how to get involved. Then later in Q1 of this year, we launched the next version, which was the gigs board, which brought collaboration and coordination into one place and enabled anyone to participate. From there, we scaled and added a new feature, which was communities, which enabled groups to self-organize and focus on just more areas. And as Maria just mentioned, our most recent version, we applied the new DevHub brand. We added some UX improvements based on feedback, as well as other enhancements. And as we move forward into the next iteration, we really want DevHub to not only be a tool just for our team, but for any partners and players in the ecosystem. We want to help them scale. So, yeah.
Thank you, Ori. So when it comes to standardizing the processes, we need to make sure that everyone is on the same page regarding our standards and how we actually want the ecosystem to grow, how we want it to look like. This doesn't mean that the system becomes centralized, but it means that the system actually becomes consistent. So everywhere you go to a NEAR hackathon or everywhere you meet a NEAR campus student, we need to make sure that they follow the same, so to say, guidelines. So I would like Nneoma to talk a little bit more about that because she's an expert on productizing knowledge we have at DevHub.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Nneoma. I'm the product manager at Hackbox. And just like Maria said, I think the beauty in decentralization is being able to empower on an individual level while also scaling at a community level. And so I think Hackbox really exemplifies this by providing an end-to-end solution that assures consistent quality and growth across the board. As you can see, even here, NEAR is a very global community. Like Maria said earlier as well, we had over 8,000 hackers hack with us last year. And so we were really thinking, how do we streamline the processes that these teams organize around? How do we make hackathons accessible to everyone? And that's where the light bulb came up and Hackbox was born. So what is Hackbox? Not only do we provide funding support to anyone, it's beginner-oriented, so anyone that wants to host a hackathon, we're also productizing the team's knowledge from hosting hackathons over the years. giving you guidelines from how to set up your registration form, all you need to know about NEAR developers, our audience segments, how to talk to sponsors if you need additional support for your event. We have our amazing designer here, Sasha, who created templatized designs that anyone can fork and edit to meet their own needs. So really it's an end-to-end plug-and-play solution for anyone to be able to host hackathons, NEAR hackathons, to empower their communities. And there's a lot of value in being able to empower the individuals in the ecosystem that have the context to take that knowledge and inspire innovation within their communities. And I also want to say a little bit about like why we support hackathons in the first place. It's not just about challenges, it's not just about winning bounties. It's something of like a microcosm of what is possible when diverse perspectives, people from different backgrounds are able to unite across a common vision, a challenge. They're working in a time-bound environment, and they're able to put together something that's really cool and value additive to the ecosystem. And so that's why we support hackathons so much. That's why we have this initiative to make hackathons more accessible to the community. And I'm really excited to see the new verticals that we unlock, the new communities that we're able to bring in. Right now, we are in the process of completing our beta cohort for Hackbox. We had teams, 2 teams in the US, 1 in Mexico, and 1 in Nigeria as well. One of our Hackbox hosts is right there, Joanna from NEAR NYC. And they had actually NGOs present at their hackathon who were able to contextualize their problems, their problem statements, and developers were also present within that arena to help solve those challenges. We have teams working on making the Web 2 to 3 transition more accessible, and really just providing value across different segments. And I think that's really powerful and really, I think, realizes NEAR's core ethos, which is one of an open and accessible web.
Thank you, Nneoma. So hackathons is just one step becoming a NEAR developer, and we actually want them to stick around. So we have bounty hunters, we have all those kinds of people who just ship the same project at all hackathons, trying to find a problem for their solution, which is really backwards in my opinion. But our end goal as DevHub is to actually find and retain a lot of talented people with bright ideas who eventually become either DevHub contributors, entrepreneurs, or maybe NEAR Foundation employees. I know at least a couple of people who became employees through one of the hackathons. So, Joe, would you like to talk about our gamification and retention strategy?
Yeah, absolutely. So, as you were saying, one of the challenges that happens with any type of ecosystem is as people come in as hackers or as project owners, is that it's not enough to just give them great tooling, like Vlad mentioned. It's also about making sure that they feel invested. We want them to feel like they're actually part of the community. So that comes from a couple different things. And the obvious one always is like grants, but like we said, we don't want to just be giving out grants all the time. That's not sustainable. That's not a methodology that really builds community. So we want to look at retention strategies that actually are meaningful to both the developers themselves as well as to us as a community. So things that we're starting to roll out this year and leading into next year are things around gamification. So even if you're not actually ready to build an actual project, you just are interested in NEAR, you like hacking, you like building stuff, we're going to give you opportunities to actually compete in challenges and essentially build up a reputation within the ecosystem. So because what's going to happen, and you'll see from the hackathon here, is that some people will make projects, but some people will just not know what to do next. And we don't want to necessarily force them into having to be an entrepreneur, because not everybody is that. But if you are an entrepreneur, we want to give you that path. So the retention strategy really, again, around gamification and giving them those opportunities to be part of something is huge. Secondarily, we think that by giving them the tools to actually come in and out of the ecosystem at different points, whether you are ready to, again, build something larger or not, as DevHub, we are the hub, right? So we are not the ones who are going to make sure that you are building this great project and raising millions of dollars, but we will help you get from the hackathon to where you need to go within the ecosystem to actually achieve those goals. And the more that we can do that by interacting and engaging with you through, again, challenges, hackathons, and different types of whether it maybe it's something like pairing people up and having to work together. There's a lot of different ways that we can go about this. It starts to build that cohesion that we're looking for so that we can kind of expand from there.
Thank you, Joe. So we have a couple of hackers in the audience. I think this year's hackathon is really special because throughout the year, we managed to build the bridges in the ecosystem and actually have challenges from our ecosystem partners, including sweat economy there. Thank you so much for such an exciting challenge to be onboard the next billion people on DeFi. So I think through hackathons, we actually can connect all of the entities in the ecosystem and come up with something beautiful. So we have 700 registered people. I think 200 or 300 are actually hacking in Hacker HQ right now, and the submission deadline is in mere 3.5 hours. And thank you so much for taking the time to come here to listen to us. So if we had one advice or suggestion, or just a comment for a person who's trying to onboard NEAR ecosystem as a developer, what would that be? Ori, let's start with you.
Well, I think you need to have genuine excitement about what you're doing, and that will show organically as you interact. And I think also being very curious about finding all the communities that exist, and if they don't, creating your own, and just finding other people that share your passion and working together. I think that's how we've seen the best success, is when you really are able to align with other folks and bring your ideas to life. So that's what I would say. Yeah.
Well, very well put, but I personally believe that every single person on the earth has their own superpowers, and that's why I view a NEAR ecosystem as well. Like, we need to play to our best strengths, and definitely DevHub being the home base for all developers, or like, I would even say like not just developers, but actually like any technical audience, be it validators or just even like tech newsletter writers. They just can bring a lot more to the ecosystem with their like just very small focus, but they do it perfectly well, and then it makes 100x impact on the whole ecosystem. So I'm personally trying to bring that to DevHub core and like core values, how to identify and empower people doing what they do the best. So just keep building, keep polishing your like superpowers, and show us, and show us, meaning us, the NEAR ecosystem, and hopefully, like my dream is that at certain point we would say like go on NEAR, like we do today as like a go on internet. There is no internet.org, so hopefully we'll not see a NEAR.org quite soon, with the growth of the ecosystem so big that it would make no sense at all. Nneoma?
Yeah, I would like to say one key thing is to take ownership of your journey, because this space is really what you make it. There is a wealth of resources available to help. I think we've gone through a lot of the initiatives that we have undertaken at DevHub to empower the community, but that's, again, just one piece. We have so many different resources, from the foundation to Near Horizon to the different self-organizing communities, that it's really about coming in with intention and then taking ownership of your journey and what you turn it into. So yeah, that's my message for you, is take ownership of your journey.
So many good answers already. I think for myself, when I speak to developers or just technical people in general, I like to think of it a little bit different, where in normal, like I guess non-crypto type tech, it's usually like one particular piece of technology that you're invested in and that you're building a community around. The beauty of NEAR is that it starts with this concept of open web, and then it trickles down into all these different things, whether it is something more hardware and networking based like validators, to front-end development, to smart contracts, and all the way through. And so whatever you want to geek out about, you can do that here, and you can be part of a community, and it's a really interesting process. So again, if you're into ZK, if you are into security, whatever that might be, there's a place for you here, and we hope that DevHub, that we can help guide you through that.
Thank you, Joe. So I have one more question for you, and it's a tricky one. It's actually my favorite one, the one that I was asked when I first entered Web3 space. I guess it's always challenging to see if you are reaching success or not, if you don't know how the success looks like. So for DevHub, how do we know that we actually, we actually did it, we actually made it? How would it look like maybe in reality a couple of years from now, maybe, what's the desired outcome, starting with probably Ori?
Well, I guess let me just recap what happened so far. I think when we look at the last year since launching the DevHub portal, we've seen tremendous growth in engagement, from developers. We've had over 400 unique authors submit like 2,000 long-form posts, ranging from really amazing ideas to full solutions. We've had over 25 communities form and 30 community calls. We've sponsored over 200 projects and individuals. And so I guess when we look forward, I would like to see that momentum continue to build and be able to tell next year that that number is ×5, or more. So we just want to continue to solve amazing problems together and make a positive impact on the ecosystem and on the open web in general. So yeah, Vlad?
Well, first of all, I'm viewing NEAR ecosystem as a whole. I'm not separating like DevHub community versus NEAR community. So I want to succeed, NEAR community to succeed as a whole. And even like bigger than that, like the technology to succeed, even though like it seems like it's doing great, but ultimately it's all combination of small pieces that we innovate and move forward. So in terms of DevHub, if we narrow it down and like say, well, what is the contribution from DevHub specifically? I view, and I think we already achieved quite a lot, as we're already like presented with like hard stats. And we are getting DevHub is already started to be used as a benchmark to many of the initiatives in NEAR ecosystem, which is already a good indicator to me that we are doing great. In order for ourselves to see that the progress is there, we definitely want to just keep doing what we're already doing and never like reduce the level of quality that we want to deliver and what we are delivering today. There is always room for improvement. That's what we are here for. We did the rebranding. It was long overdue. We improved on UX, on the platform itself. We definitely want to improve and bring DevHub to be like just a natural way to, it's like speaking. So it would be natural for people to just, I just go to DevHub and I'll sort my problem there easily. So that would be awesome to see. So yeah.
Absolutely. And I think one more thing that I count as a marker of a healthy and vibrant community is organic content. So how many people in their day-to-day lives are finding this technology useful, and what are they saying about it? How much are they proliferating this information? I think that will contribute a lot to how ubiquitous NEAR's technology is, in the ways that people find it impactful in their personal lives and are able to share that message and actually just like self-organize as advocates for the technology, for the community. So if someone has attended a Hackbox hackathon and that was really impactful to them, and they choose to make some content or write about what they learned, or go off on a evangelism mission and start preaching the good gospel of NEAR, that is, I think, a healthy marker of a community that's really vibrant and active and successful. And I think that's something that I would love to see more of, and I'm sure that we are well on our way as a team, just one small piece of the ecosystem in supporting that vision.
I love that answer, because I think for me, numbers aside, I think the numbers are obvious that you always want to see more active developers each month and all the way through. But the real, I think proof of your ecosystem growing and getting stronger is people self-organizing, writing on their own, doing those things. So no longer that instead of us driving different working groups, you guys are driving the working groups. That to me is a strong ecosystem. I really would also, I think, as we start to grow as a hub and as a larger community across NEAR, to be able to better provide these pathways that we mentioned earlier. Can we get you from You know, the idea of going to a hackathon to possibly being a founder. If we can solve that for you, if we can get you to self-organize, then I think we're doing the right thing.
Thank you so much. So in my opinion, success looks like decentralized, diverse ecosystem of people who actually feel like stakeholders, who feel like their opinion matters, their vision matters, and we would be here to help them to take it off, actually. Whether they want to host a hackathon, or they want to do something for their student club, or they want to build a startup, we're here for them. So if you want to meet us, if you want to talk more about DevHub initiatives, come to the Hacker HQ. We will be there, I think, until the end of the day, because we're doing the hackathon. So yeah, the link tree is here to help to find our social networks, our websites, and our main resources that you might use as a DevHub contributor. Thank you so much.
Thank you.